To call the Israel-Palestine conflict a delicate matter could be the understatement of the year, or rather the century. Actually, several centuries. In fact, the issue goes back to World War I, when the idea of a Jewish nation in Palestine was first supported by the British. And since that did happen in 1948, it has been a series of wars and conflicts culminating in the current situation sparked by the Hamas massacre in October of 2023. It's been a delicate dance for those willing to share an opinion on the matter, with no clear way to simplify a stance. That question came to a small, localized head last month when a group of Idahoans say they were targeted and harassed at a coffee shop. The Idaho Israel Alliance says they were the ones asked to leave, and they worry such a conclusion will promote more harassment, preventing future public meetings. And they hope speaking out today will open up a dialogue about the degrees of distinction of what's happening in the Middle East.
A coffee meetup in Boise quickly turned to conflict for members of the Idaho Israel Alliance.
Had a great turnout, had about 11 people, which is about double what I was expecting for the first one, and had protesters show up.
Moshe Herman is executive director of the Idaho Israel Alliance. He says as the group faced chants and harassment, a staffer at the Boise Push and Pour put the responsibility of the situation on his group.
We don't agree with your cause and you need to leave. And then shortly after, Boise Police showed up.
Boise Police confirms they responded to the location, saying, quote, information provided to police was that subjects on scene were harassing customers, that they had been asked by the business to leave and were still on the property. When officers arrived, everyone involved left the property. The group believes they were targeted because their event was posted on their social media page in advance.
It was so nonchalant, it could have just as easily been a book club or any other get-together. There was no Israeli flags, there was no signs, so unexpected that it was a little unsettling. We complied with the wishes of Push and Pour. The person who was running the restaurant at the time asked us to leave, and we stood up and said, okay, is you the person in charge, or the one that's going to make that decision? We left. And so, we left and were basically thrust into these protesters who were screaming and causing a ruckus. And then Boise Police and they did a wonderful job and were very communicative and everything. And we left.
Push and Pour shared a statement with me on the incident, saying, in part, the employee working did close our shop to all customers due to the disturbance, and we were closed for the remainder of the evening, adding, we strive to always be a space of inclusion and promote peaceful gathering and community for all people. We are a welcoming cafe to all people wanting to enjoy a coffee. We had to close that evening due to a disturbance of the peace for the general safety of our employee and customers, not due to any views or perspectives.
The Idaho Israel Alliance takes no position on the politics of Israel. It takes no position on its current government. We don't feel the need to denounce the IDF or Israel for its actions, because that's not why we're here. We're not here to support anyone blindly. We're here to fight for the Jewish community in Idaho and make sure that the world knows that Idaho stands with Israel because of its shared values.
Don Berger is founder and board chair of the Idaho Israel Alliance. He shares concerns about the concept of intimidating a group to discourage them from getting together.
The idea that people can't get together without folks chanting death to the IDF, you're killing babies, stop the genocide, when we're just literally talking over coffee. We were paying patrons in this establishment.
The complicated nuance of the conflict in the Middle East is easily lost when lines are blurred between actions of the Israeli government and members of the Jewish faith who support the existence of a Jewish state.
Unfortunately, it's two very different things. The reason the Idaho Israel Alliance believes that anti-Zionism or anti-Israel sentiments are anti-Semitic is because it denies the Jewish people's right to self-determination. Jewish folks are ethnically different. They have genetics that prove that. They go back all the way 3,000 years to the Middle East.
The Idaho Israel Alliance says they're working on education in the community and have tried to have real conversations with critics.
And in fact, after the situation, we've asked these people several times to get together and have a discussion, have a debate with us, and it's always either a sarcastic laughing but never a yes. And I think at the end of the day, that's not their intent.
The Idaho Israel Alliance says they're working to draw attention to a rise in anti-Semitic incidents in the state of Idaho in recent years. Regionally, groups like the Anti-Defamation League point to a rise in reported incidents since 2022.
Anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, and that's what we work on educating folks about. And there is this line that's blurred, and anti-Israel sentiments, which are totally fine, are bleeding over into anti-Semitism, and that we really worry about that, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen on any campus in Idaho or any street in Idaho.
And the Idaho Israel Alliance tells me they plan to continue their meetups. Again, Brian, this was the first time that they had tried to meet up at a coffee shop like this, and they had actually told the establishment they had planned on being there. They gave them a heads up, hey, we're planning on meeting as a group, and they were welcomed at the time.
Okay, are they planning on going back?
I don't think they're going to be going back to that location specifically.
Okay, so my question is, if the employee of Push and Pour says, we don't agree with your cause and you need to leave, did Push and Pour have anything to say specifically about that, about the employee saying that?
They did not, and they actually just addressed the whole situation as a whole. We showed you some of their statement there. I did send a follow-up email to ask some more questions, see if they were interested in going on camera. Did not receive a response.
All right, thank you very much, Joe.